It's time to take off your clothes, enjoy clothes-free living, and join us for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists.
Welcome to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, the show that celebrates clothes-free living for all. I'm your host, Frank Stone.
And I'm your correspondent, Lisa Monroe, and I'll be reporting on all things within the naturist community. So it's time to get naked and join us.
And enjoy clothes-free living on Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Well, greetings and welcome into Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 204 today. Really glad that you're with us, ready to go to enjoy clothes-free living for all of the right reasons for the next hour or so. Can you believe that 1 week from today, it will be July 1st? And you know what July 1st means, right? That's right. It will be the beginning of our 4th year. We will have done a show every single Saturday since July 1st of 2023. Haven't missed one yet. Don't plan to miss any anytime soon. But if we do, you'll understand why. But next week, a week from today, July 1st, we start our 4th year of broadcasting the show, Clothes-Free Living, for all of the right reasons. So come on in and let's do this together. The pool feels like $1 million, and we know that because we took a dip about a half an hour ago. It feels great. The hot tub is going 100 degrees right now. The grill is going full bore, and guess who is manning and womaning the grill today? You won't believe this. The entire cast from Naked has created the Tim Chismar movie, all about the Pastor Jim story. That's right, everybody flew in last night, and they are cooking up some good stuff to have during the show and after the show, so come on in. We do have fruits and vegetables off to the right, cold drinks off to the left, hot drinks inside. If you leave the screened-in area of the pool, we have a hammock with a naturist fiction library. We have some bocce ball action. We have some putting greens. You come back inside. We have that cigar bar. We have extra towels, extra lotion, extra chairs. We have it all. The only thing you have to do, you have one job to do today, and that's come in, and you're already here. So that's really good news. We've done our job. You've done your job. We are ready to go. Episode 204 of Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, beginning our 4th year a week from today. How about that? Just glad that you're here celebrating the joys of naturism. Well, I don't know about you, but I think I hear some music under my voice. Let's listen together, see if we hear it. Oh, yes, I can hear it. I know you can hear it, too. That can only mean one thing. It's time for the great, the terrific, the one-of-a-kind, the completely clothes-free and fully smiling, our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. And here she is, the one and only, the one-of-a-kind, the completely clothes-free and fully smiling, our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. Good morning, Lisa. How are you today?
Good morning, Frank. I'm doing very, very well today, and I hope you are the same.
I am. Did you notice a little extra punch, a little extra gusto when I said, good morning, Lisa?
I did. You're feeling very good this morning, I take it.
I'm always feeling good. Life is meant to be enjoyed while feeling good, isn't it?
It certainly is. So that's the way we are, and that's the way we feel today, and it's a great thing.
Absolutely. Well, here we are on June 24, which obviously means, because I paid attention in class, back in first grade, we're almost into July. We are fully blown into summer. I still have no idea how this happened so quickly, but here we are enjoying it to the max.
We certainly are, and I definitely have to say that it's come upon us much faster than we expected, but it's been a busy 6 months, I guess, coming into June. So, but it just goes by faster and faster.
I would say so, and I think officially summer just started this past Sunday. Is that right?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Same as Father's Day. Father's Day
Yes,
was Sunday,
or Saturday. I'm not sure, one of the 2 days.
Saturday or Sunday? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it was Father's Day weekend.
Yes, it was.
So we did all of that.
Yes.
And just tell me one thing.
Yes.
Only one, because I know you'll go on like 150. One thing that you remember about your dad that was significant, either that he did or that he taught you or that he showed you the way.
I think the most significant thing he did was teach me how to deal with people. And he was the kind of guy who just, he went to work. He said it didn't matter if he had if they got into an argument at work, it didn't matter. He said the second it was time to go to lunch, they put everything aside and went to lunch. He said, I think he helped me learn the difference between real problems and disputes or disagreements. And I think that was probably one of the things that's helped me the most to take a step back when something would happen in the office that might make me mad, but I take a step back and go, hey, wait a minute, this is not the end of the world. Let's deal with it. And so I think that lesson about how to deal with people and deal with the adversities you face is probably the biggest thing he taught me.
Okay, well, I learned how to deal with adversity in the workplace as well. I just merely fired people who disagreed with me.
Well, I've done that too, but sometimes you're not in a position to fire whoever's
That's true. So yeah, I did. The end of the story is the same. You said you put all your problems away and went to lunch. So did I. I fired my problems and went to lunch. And I'm kidding, exaggerating at
I
least.
know
Yeah.
you are. That's
Okay.
not exactly how your career went. It
No,
went very well.
I didn't fire people on a daily basis. I want to
No,
make that really clear.
no.
So not even a yearly basis for the most part. But anyway, I was thinking this over on Father's Day, and several things I learned from my dad. One of them, this is this struck me as odd at the time, and it's been odd ever since. At the same time, it makes perfect sense. I was probably, I don't know, 19 or 20, I don't even know, around that age. And when I was in high school and I was in the band, and I was kind of a favored son of the band director, and everybody hated that. Like, who does he think he is? He's Mr. No, I'm just here to play. I don't know why this, anyway. So I was 19 or 20, and my former band director called me up, and he said his sister has bought a new house. She wants to have a housewarming party, and she'd like to have a little band there. And he said, my teacher will play keyboards. He goes, can you come out with your drums and play drums? Now it was about an hour and a half one way in the middle of nowhere. And I said, yeah, sure, okay. And he quickly said, but I can't pay you, but I will give you gas money. Okay, that's fine. I'll do it as a favor to him. So I was telling my dad about it, and I said, so before I got to the pay, he quickly said, he goes, what's he paying you? I said, well, technically, he's not paying me anything, but he is giving me gas money. And my dad said, no, absolutely not. I said, what do you mean? He goes, how much money do you normally make at a gig? And it was 10, 15, 20 times, gas money. And he said, correct. He said, so that's what you're worth. That's what people will pay you. So either you get paid that money or you do it as a favor for free. You don't jack up the guy for gas money. And so I didn't jack him up. He offered it. He goes, no, he's telling you he can't pay you, but he'll dig in his pockets and find a few bucks to make sure you get home safely. That's different than paying you. And that struck me as odd at the time, maybe still, but it made perfect sense.
Yes.
If you're going to do a favor for somebody, do a favor for somebody. Now, I'll do a favor and only charge you a little. Well, that's not really a favor. It kind of sort of is, but it's not a full favor. So that's the lesson I learned. Does that make sense, his advice?
It certainly does, and I think that the value of our worth is something that I guess both our parents instilled in us, and because the ego is not a good thing, but being straight and honest and knowing what your worth is, and that's how you judge how you deal with everybody else.
Yeah. Very good. And we pay tribute to our dads and
Yes.
our moms. We should have done this on Mother's Day too. We'll do it next year. We won't forget.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, we have, we've been talking about music a lot over the last several shows, especially the Wednesday shows, Donna Summer, Sade, and some other people. And a few people wrote in, okay, what are your favorite songs of all time? Wow, how do I come up with a list of that? Because there are so many. If it's well written and well performed, it's on my list. So that means like a couple billion. So I thought, why don't we just put together a brief list, your top 5 favorite songs of all time and mine, knowing these aren't really our top favorite because they could change tomorrow. A different mood, coffee tastes different. I have a new favorite song. But if you had to list 5, let's just say 5 of your favorites, not your 5 favorite, but 5 of your favorite songs of all time, what would some of them be?
Well, first off, I decided if we were going to only do 5, that I'd do songs that if they came on the radio or they came over Sirius or wherever they came from, I stopped and had to listen,
Okay.
and couldn't just peep them in the background. And then our taste in music is somewhat similar and also very diverse from each other. So let me just say, Dream Lover by Bobby Darin.
Whoa. Okay. I know the tune. I'm. That's okay. Okay. Yeah.
Now,
No,
if
no,
you critique my list, you're in
no, no.
trouble.
I am not critiquing. I just wasn't expecting that. But go ahead.
Bad Moon Rising by CCR.
Wow. Okay.
Foreigners, I Want to Know What Love Is. I think that's
Okay.
one of the most beautiful songs ever. Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles.
Wow.
God Only Knows by the Beach Boys.
Wow. That is a different list than I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. Nothing wrong. No, there's no critique. There's nothing wrong with any of those
Hmm.
songs, obviously. But so you're a Beach Boys, CCR, Beatles kind of gal.
Yeah,
That's your
I mean,
background.
I
Yeah.
love music from any genre, any area. So, I've listened to my parents. Right, I told you my family was very musically, and so I listened to music from the time I was old enough to know what it was. And so, Bobby Darin albums, Dean Martin albums, Frank Sinatra albums, Perry Como albums, big bands, country albums. I mean, they had everything, and we listened to everything. So it you know, kind of just morphed into I like anything and everything. I mean, I didn't list half of the. I stopped at 30 on my list
Wow.
when we did this. So because they're all songs that I just truly enjoy.
Well, even 30 is quite a short list in terms
Yes.
of the history of music.
Yeah,
So
and
it's,
I could have gone on, and I mean, I left off, Roy Orbison's "Crying," and I left off, a whole bunch of other things songs that Wichita Lineman, which I love. So,
mm.
you know,
All right. Well, let me pop five songs by you that are on my list. Not my
okay,
favorite of all time, but among the favorite of all time because it's impossible to pick five and just hold it right there.
it is.
To me, and I will admit I'm a sucker for a love song, and especially if it's a male female duet, you
Mm-hmm.
might as well just, ask me for the money up front before I even hear it because I'll be buying it. But this is a solo by Barbara Streisand. She got the big hit anyway. Evergreen. Remember that
Oh
song?
gosh, yes, I do, and it's beautiful, and
Yeah.
it's on my list as well. Just didn't get there.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I can
Mm-hmm.
get lost in that song from the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning, even before she starts singing, just the instrumental going on in the background. So that's one of them. Now we get to a male female duet, uh, Lionel Richie and Diana Ross, Endless Love.
Yes.
You know, that's from the movie Endless Love, but it was also a big hit song on their own and another gorgeous tune. I get lost in that one as well. Just put it on, and when it's over, I have to remind myself where I am, what day it is, what
Yeah.
year it is,
Right.
why I'm here.
It's one of those songs that you stop when you hear it and have to listen to it.
Yes, yes. How about the Billy Joel tune, Just the Way You Are?
Yes.
Oh, man. I think I've told you this before off air, off the show. I was in my car getting ready to go somewhere. It was at night, and this song came on. It was a stick shift, so, kind of maneuvering the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
And this song came on, and I stopped. I literally hit the brake. Whoa, what is this? And so I just sat there and listened to it, mesmerized. And so now that's different. I've not heard music like that before in the pop world. And so quickly, either that night or the next day, I rushed to the store to buy the sheet music for it. This is the pre-interwebs days. You couldn't just
Mm-hmm.
download it or fire it up. And when I looked at the music, well, no wonder. This is not your typical pop music. Billy Joel's far beyond just a pop music kind of guy. In
Yes.
fact, he was classically trained. He's written some, I think, symphonies or operas or
Mm-hmm.
something since he stopped doing the pop stuff. So it struck me as quite different, and it is quite different. But what a gorgeous tune, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and I don't disagree with any of yours. I think they're
Yeah,
all
I mean,
beautiful songs, and I love them.
yeah, go on forever.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is by Atlantic Star, another male female duet, Always. Do you know that
Oh,
song?
yes,
I mean, it
yes,
just starts off with Girl, You Are to Me,
yes.
all that a woman should be. Like, hello, he's going to be having a good night just by singing those words right away.
Yes, he is.
Oh, that was is a gorgeous song. I said was, but it still is, and probably always will be. And the last one, I wasn't sure if I should go rock here just to mix it up, but I'll just stay in the same vein
Mm-hmm.
here. A song by Roberta Flack and Peebo Bryson.
Oh,
Tonight I Celebrate My Love.
yes.
That is a gorgeous tune. The lyrics, the music, the arrangement. So those would be my beginning five, and maybe next Wednesday we'll do five more. How's that sound?
That sounds good. And because there's a whole lot more to go from
Oh
these, because it's
gosh,
just so much great music. And I think the funny thing is that a lot of probably what's on your list and what's on my list are not very recent recordings.
I
And
would say yeah.
yeah, so that may tell you the state of the music world right now. And so I just don't have any fans, any one of them I'm a fan of at the moment.
Well, we go from "Girl, You Are to Me All That a Woman Should Be"
Yes.
in whatever that was, 80s probably,
Yes.
to the F word and the B
Mm-hmm.
word and every word under the sun, and it's filthy and disgusting. Let's not get sidetracked. We'll be here for
No.
3 hours before we
No.
even get to the naked stuff. Jeez. All right, so that's top five. Now, I decided to go back in the archives here.
Mm-hmm.
In I believe the year is 1970, way before we were born.
Mm-hmm.
The number one tune that year, and this is according to I think Billboard, "Bridge Over Troubled Water"
Oh,
by
wow.
Simon and Garfunkel. You know that one?
Oh, very well.
Yeah.
And I love that song too. That was on my list. So
Yeah.
I have a lot on my list.
Yeah.
But that's a beautiful song.
Here is one that will make me stop in my tracks and just shut everything out and listen, by the Carpenters, "Close to You."
Oh my gosh, I didn't even
Yeah.
start to think to list the Carpenters because I love her. I love
Yeah.
that sound. So, yes.
Number three on their list, by the Guess Who, "American Woman."
Yep. Great song.
Totally different than "Close to You."
Very, very different, but still great song.
Yeah. That band is mostly from Canada, so singing about American woman,
Yeah.
they're singing about women from another country. And
Yes.
there are two schools of thought on that. It was basically putting down American women. And if you listen to it in a certain way, yeah, they are. And then they said, oh, no, it was tribute to American women. Well, of course, they're trying to make money, so who knows the truth? But four on the list is "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head,"
Oh,
B.J.
goodness.
Thomas. Yeah.
Yes.
Just a lot of great tunes out
There,
there.
there's too many. There are too many to choose from because the second you hear one, I go, "Oh, I love that song," and then you hear another, "Oh, I love that song," and it keeps going and going.
Now, here's one that it won't make me stop in my tracks and listen, but I can listen to it. It's pretty enjoyable, by Edwin Starr. The tune is called "War."
Yes, I know that song very well. So
Right in the middle of the Vietnam War,
right,
so obviously he was ticked off about that.
right.
Another song I'll put on another five list, just to show you the difference. Go from "Endless Love" and "Always" and "Tonight I Celebrate My Love" to Hall and Oates' "Kiss on My List."
Another great song.
Yeah, I mean that Daryl
Yeah,
Hall
yeah.
is still, in his entire career, never sang a note that came anywhere close to being in tune. Yet somehow, some way, it works. And when I hear that song, all bets are off. Stop talking, hold the phones, leave me alone. I want to hear this. Just a fun tune to listen to.
Absolutely.
All right, so that concludes the musical portion of our show. If you're okay with that, we'll get back to what we're doing here.
Yes, and of course, a lot of these songs that we're talking about are out by the pool and, when you're out naked and sunning. So just remember to put your favorites on.
That's right. Well, we got a letter from one of our regular listeners, Armando. We've read some things from him before, but this will be the last letter we ever read from Armando. It's because of the way he started off. Good morning, Lisa and Frank. So, Armando, we thank you for everything. This will be it. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Armando, you can write me. I will be happy to discuss your messages on the show. We'll just leave Frank out of it.
Well, apparently, I already am left out.
Apparently, you are.
So this is the letter. We took some liberty, Armando, to edit it and redact a bit, just because some things you put in there probably shouldn't be for public consumption on this show anyway. So, Lisa, if you don't mind, do you want to take that first paragraph?
I certainly will. He says, "Good morning, Lisa and Frank."
Wait a minute. I don't see an emphasis in his writing. Don't make him in worse trouble than he already is.
Okay, let me redo that to please, Frank.
Please do. Thank you.
Good morning, Lisa and Frank.
There we go. Okay. I feel better.
Goodness. Okay. You know, I love you both, but you're cracking me up on this AANR election stuff. Such a small percentage of people care with just 25,000 members, and only a small percentage of them vote. AANR will never have an impact on my life or anyone I know. I'm sure that is true for most people.
Okay, well, we'll get into the numbers in just a little bit and the election results that just came out. I think just 2 days ago on Monday, because it ended.
Yes.
Did it end Saturday? I think it ended
Saturday.
Saturday at midnight, and nothing was posted on Sunday, so they posted it on Monday. The second paragraph, I thought I better read this because
Yes.
you might start
Yes.
getting mad, but don't, because
I'm not.
I explained this to him in an email back. Let's get back on track and start wearing our NNN wear or whatever pro nudism wear we can. Forget the incognito leaf or anything else incognito. If we can't proclaim we are nudist and proud of it, maybe there is something wrong with it. When my wife is not around, I wear my nudist hat and suffer the consequences of poor service and dirty looks. Change doesn't happen without some loss and some pain. Well, yeah, that's true. That's why a lot of people resist change or try to make things better because they know they're going to take a few hits. Now, I explained the whole incognito thing. We have a lot of listeners who work in an office setting, attorneys, engineers, physicians, and they just, for whatever reason, they don't want to promote the fact that they're naked as jaybirds every chance they get out of the office. And so the incognito thing works for them. They can still support nudism and think about it all day without telling everybody else because it really is nobody else's business. But I understand his argument too. If we're not just saying, hey, baby, I'm naked as a jaybird every chance I get, maybe there's something wrong with it or with us. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I totally agree. I understand where he's coming from, and I wish it were that way. But we do know too many people. I mean, I never brought it into my workplace because I was in human resources for and in a hospital lab for years. So there are just places where you cannot always be who you are, and it's terrible to not have to pretend. But sometimes you just have to not tell everything you know. So we thought the incognito leaf would, at least give someone something that they could sit on their desk and know, hey, I'm a naturist. Nobody else knows. And, that's a good feeling, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of like an entry level coffee mug, right?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
they'll graduate someday to, NNN.
Yeah.
And then they'll graduate to naked, nudist and naturist, proud of it. You go ahead and fire me. I'm retiring next year. Anyway, don't care.
There you go.
Before we get to the next paragraph, he said when he wears his nudist hat, he gets poor service and dirty looks.
I know.
That's never happened with me. Not, I'll wear a hat or a shirt, more likely with me, because I seldom wear a hat other than when I'm in the sun or, at the beach. But I always get a look. If it's a female, I always get kind of a smirk. Nothing is ever said. Seldom, just a couple times. And with guys, I kind of get like, whoa, one of those looks, and they go about their business. So I've never gotten poor service as a result of whatever shirt I have on, naked is great or naked as a jaybird. Which I actually have a shirt that says that. But so I don't know. I mean, different people react differently. And when they see the word naked, sometimes they have that reaction like, oh no, this is bad news. And that's part of why we do this show. No, it's not bad news. It's very good news as long as it's done for all of the right reasons, correct?
That's very true. And I think probably most of us who are naturists, we know some naturists who are like, they wear it proudly. They're in countries where they can be naked all the time if they want to be. They go to different events naked. People tolerate it. People don't have a problem with it. But that's not true here. And so I think that alone keeps an awful lot of us not wearing the things out that we like to. And again, I think it comes back to some arguments about why, there aren't a lot of people in their 20s, 30s, 40s involved in naturism, is because they are protecting their livelihood. And, the risk is very great for people in this country to try to do this. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have all kinds of stories out there, especially teachers, it seems like, but also police officers or medical personnel getting dismissed or getting demoted because they had a naked coffee mug. Not a naked photo, just the word naked on their coffee mug.
Yeah.
And so until we overcome that, yeah, he's right. You want to take the third paragraph?
Okay. We also need to get back on the No Shirts for Men program. Here, here. I just rode 10 miles on my bike with my wife and I was shirtless. I do that at least twice a week. It will become normal again when it is normal again.
That's true. Yeah, we've talked about that before when we were kids. I don't know if I ever saw a man in the neighborhood with a shirt on during the summer while he was working outside. And now, basically don't see any men with their shirts off outside when they're working. Not because it's Florida in the hot sun, even when it's moderate weather, they still have a shirt on. We've become a covered up society in so many ways, and I don't understand it other than all the nonsense going out there. What are your any additional thoughts on that?
My dad hardly ever wore a shirt in the summer and when he was outside, inside even, except at the table if there was a meal. And so I grew up used to it. I never thought there was anything wrong with it. And I think other men in the neighborhood did as well. But suddenly we've just become very conscious of not showing things, I believe, and it's not good. So yeah, I'm all on board for the No Shirts for Men program.
Yeah, and part of it too is men get the same nonsense that women get. Now we can argue the degrees, whatever, but if you're a guy and you're a little overweight, or if you have a bit of a stomach and you're walking
Hmm.
around without a shirt, someone's going to make a comment.
Exactly.
Maybe not to you directly, but to a friend. You're just aware of it. You don't
Hmm.
even hear it. You just know, oh boy, or at least you think they're talking about your extra large stomach or
Yeah.
larger than a six pack, which very few people have to begin with. And so it goes back to that, Hollywood TV thing. Well, I'll never look as good as him. Well, you're right, because you don't have 10 gazillion dollars for plastic surgery and everything else they do to enhance themselves. So just enjoy life, which is what nudism is all about.
It sure is. And I think that men and women both suffer from the same judgment by other people. And I think that judgment sometimes is based on the fact that they just don't see enough naked people to realize that everybody comes in a different shape, different size. It doesn't matter. And they're just not used to it. Therefore, they have to make some comment about it.
Yeah, yeah, sad but true. And I'm at that stage. Well, I've been at the stage for a long time. I don't care. I'm going to walk to my mailbox with no shirt on. You want to come up and talk to me? You want to run for the hills and hide behind your door? Either way is fine with me. I'm not going to be affected by your response or your feelings because it's totally normal and natural. And by the way, for men, legal. Which
Yes.
takes us to our next paragraph.
Yes.
Armando says, I've given up on top free for women because they don't want it. Ooh.
Heavy statement.
As many women that vote, and as many times as it has been proven constitutional, if they wanted it, they would have it. So few take advantage of it where it is legal that it obviously isn't important. However, if we don't make men being shirtless normal again, we will lose that too. Start the bandwagon again and encourage men to go shirtless. So, one comment from me on women, then I'll turn it over to you. There was a city where I used to live that voted top free
Okay.
for women. Okay, you can just walk around all day. Wherever a man normally goes shirtless, you can too. You want to go jogging, no shirt on? Go ahead. You want to go sit by the water, no shirt on? Go ahead. And I thought, well, as part of my research based mind, I probably should visit this city just to document and get the results and publish them
Mhm.
somewhere.
Yes.
And so I talked to somebody about it. He said, don't waste your time. He said, no female walks around without her shirt in that town. I thought, I said, I thought all of them would be. I mean, they passed the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way. They grew up keeping shirts on. A vote in the House or Senate is not going to change their minds because it's embedded and ingrained into their heads. And so I never went. And I've talked to other people over the years, and they said, yeah, just nobody walks around top free. Women, no woman walks around top free, even though she could. So his last paragraph here has some merit. What are your thoughts?
I think he's right in a lot of ways, and but I don't think he's right about that women don't want it. They they want it, but they also know that if they walked out, on the street in their town that way, even if it was legal, there would be all kinds of repercussions. There would be all kinds of trouble. There would be all kinds of Karens loose, or that would come after them. So unless there's safety in numbers. So unless a lot of people are doing it, I doubt there's too many women, unless they're very, very vehement about this issue, will actually go out and do it. I mean, I think it's legal on the streets of New York City, but I don't think we see too many women in New York with their tops off. So, you know, I don't know. It's really a conundrum for women because we want that, but we also know that over the years, culturally, women are subjected to a lot of comments and catcalls and treated differently in some ways than men are. But it's just unfortunate, but I think he's right that
Yeah.
it's hard to go do it, even though we want it.
Yeah, and I will admit, I always admire when I see a topless woman or totally clothes free who has that confidence.
Yes.
They're not even giving it a second thought. Kind of they might as well just wear a banner saying, "I don't care who you are or what you say. I'm me, and I'm doing this." And
Yes,
I like that a lot.
I do too. And when you go into a nude beach, there's nothing there. There's no repercussions. Everybody's doing the same. The comfort level is really high in that environment. And then but if you're walking back to the car, hey, might need to put a shirt on. And that is a conditioning, I think, by culture and also by law. And so because we can't be in certain places, it makes it more uncomfortable, even if we can be in some places. So I think that stigma always kind of hangs over women. And besides, it's not easy to jog topless. So anyway,
Well, I wasn't going to go there. See, I'm a gentleman,
I
so
could.
I mean, it's easier for some women than others, and I probably should say no more. But yeah, I know what you mean. And I always wondered, when the jogging craze started, they didn't have these sports bras,
Mm-mm.
and so women still had trouble. You got a bra
Mm-hmm.
and t-shirt on,
Mm-hmm.
they were still having trouble. And then they developed these sports bras, and a lot of times that's all women wear on the top is a
Right.
sports bra. You
Yeah.
wouldn't have seen a bra in public, years ago to save anybody's life, and now they're proudly wearing them. So,
Well,
to me,
they cover more than most bikinis. So
well, that's true. And to me, psychologically, whatever you get used to, eventually becomes normal.
it does.
I'm not sure if I said that correctly, but I was thinking of a couple of things. One of them, tattoos.
Mm.
Years ago, if you got a tattoo as a man, people just stopped accepting you into their little circle, and no woman got a tattoo. You got to
Oh,
be
no.
kidding. That's
No.
for men who are strong and maybe not too bright. Was kind of the overall overriding thing. Oh, he's one of those. Okay, and I'm telling you, no woman ever. I don't know if they thought about getting a tattoo, but they didn't. Now you look around. Under a certain age, I'm not sure if there's a person left who doesn't have not only a tattoo, but multiple tattoos and lots of them all over their body. That's now become normal, whereas years ago, it was normal to not have them. So as things evolve and men start getting out there and having their shirts off, that'll become normal again, like it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And same with women. If they say, Chuck, whatever anybody thinks, I'm walking the mailbox, no shirt on, if it's legal where they are, and then that becomes normal. Yeah, there'll be a period of adjustment where men are, whoa, check out the one, over
Yeah.
there. Well, eventually we'll get past that, and it's just, hi, Mary or Susie or whatever your
Yeah.
name is, and won't even notice they're naked or top free anymore because it's normal. It's kind of the way the mind works. Last thoughts on that from you?
Well, I just say, may we get to that point. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but it's just a really sad state of affairs that what we know is a really good way to live, to enjoy the outdoors, to enjoy the air, to enjoy the sun, to enjoy not having the cumbersome, binds of clothing. But, you know, society just doesn't want to let us do that. And it's just really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is sexualized, everything comes back to that, advertising, everything. So when that's the focus of people who are barely clothed or unclothed, then we have a really big road to haul up to try to make it
Yeah.
work.
All right. Let's take a look at the AANR results. The voting results came in. The window was open from apparently May 1st, which
Hmm.
is different than what we were told originally, the middle of May. And then it would be, anyway, we went through all that before. So May 1st, till just this past Saturday at midnight, June 20th. So 51 days of voting. And according to AANR, 13.7% of the membership voted. Less than
That's
14% of the total membership voted. Now, you can't put that on the voters. If you don't want to vote, you don't have to vote. That's how we are in the country. You don't want to vote, you don't vote. But it's your chance to vote. And wouldn't it be great if AANR could find a way to entice people to vote? And I won't get into that today, but 13.7, they're going to guide for the other 86.3. That just doesn't seem, it seems a little discombobulated. But I am very proud, Lisa Monroe, to announce I will be changing careers very soon.
Oh, really?
I will become an election expert because I perfectly called 2 elections. I
Yes,
said
you did.
Mitch London would win in a landslide
Yes, you did.
as the Secretary Treasurer. And I said Ralph Collinson, the Florida trustee, he would win in a landslide. And son of a gun, I nailed both correctly. How about that?
You certainly did. I mean, you are the election guru, and next time the elections come around nationally, I'm sure everybody's going to call on you to make those predictions.
I think so. You know, it's when you have a gift, you have a gift. So why hide it, right?
Exactly.
Now, should I also announce both of those gentlemen ran unopposed?
Well, that might ruin your, your prophecy ability, but yes, they did run unopposed, but which is good because they're both great at what they do. So
Yeah. Yeah. So congratulations to Mitch and Ralph for getting reelected to your positions. It's kind of neat to see that 100% of the votes went to them. You know, on the chart it says 100%.
yes,
So, okay, great.
yes.
Let's look at the trustees first. The East Region, and I don't know these people. I know their name. I've just never dealt with them. But Sandra Cordell, I think she was the existing trustee, and she got 100%, ran unopposed. Ralph, 100% in Florida. Midwest, they did have 2 people running, and Bradley McDonald, who apparently is a doctor, it says MD, he won the Midwest. The other guy, David Levine, used to be the Secretary Treasurer of the overall AANR board, and then he resigned in 25, decided to become a trustee in Midwest, but did not win. Bradley McDonald did. Northwest, Jenny Agee, the existing trustee, ran unopposed. So by golly, she got 100%. See, I should have predicted that one too.
Yes, you could have.
Yeah. In the Southwest, Janine Siegfried, I do not know her, never met her. She won. And in the West, now this one was this one took me by surprise, I will admit. Cindy Faber, she was on the show before, Cindy Tendick, and she's Patty Faber's daughter. They own Shangri-La Ranch in Arizona. She won. Now, it doesn't surprise me she won.
No.
Because she's well known. She was the president of AANR West for 4 years and a mover and a shaker within AANR itself. What surprised me is Kathy Watzel, the existing trustee, lost. I don't know if you know this. Kathy Watzel used to be the president of AANR, not just West, but the overall AANR.
Yes.
And you kind of expect a former president to win a trustee position, which she did originally, but did not this time. So Cindy is the new regional trustee for West. Now, when we look at any comments so far, or we okay to move on?
No, I think that, there's very competent people are being elected. I hope the new people will prove to be the same. So that's, that I guess this is what it's going to be.
Now, when we look at the presidency, the current president won the seat again. And I looked at the numbers, and she got roughly 2/3 of the vote. So 2/3 of 13.7 ends up being around 9%. I think it's just under 10%. So that means 9% of the members voted for her. Now, you went to high school, you went to college. What would have happened had you gotten 9% on a paper or an exam?
I would be a failure.
Yeah. And bounced out of college and told to never come back, and
Exactly.
so on and so forth. So again, that's not either candidate's fault that only 9% voted for the winning candidate. But you hate to have 9% calling the shots for the other 91%, but it is what it is. We can't argue. Nothing we can say because that's how it shook out.
No, and most elections are like that. Not every, fortunately, I think the national percentages are bigger than this, but people will say they're going to vote and then they don't. And I just, well, they say I'm not voting. And so realistically, you know what the numbers are. But in situations like this, obviously 87% of the people don't care, or they just don't bother because it goes back to what Armando said.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't impact them in any way, so they don't care. They will care sometimes if AANR disappears, but because the legal part of AANR will be gone, and that's when things will get bad. And so that's the core of AANR, and that's why people need to support it. It's because of what they do legally for us. Everything else is, not a big deal.
Yeah. And then Vice President, Patty Faber, remember she was the AANR West president for 4 years. And then she's been she's been the vice president of AANR, and she did not win.
No.
B.G. Parks did. She's from Florida and is part of one of the resorts here. So a change in vice president, but president, secretary, treasurer stay the same at the national level. Mm-hmm. And then we've already run down the trustees. And there was a bylaw change. You could vote yes or no or approve or I do not approve. And that went through 90%. And I think that has to do with how they structure the summer meetings, the annual meetings in the summer.
I believe that was what it was.
Yeah, changing the days, hopefully get more younger people involved and do more of the work on the weekends as opposed to during the week. So I don't know how that'll shake out, if that'll help, but at least somebody is trying something to kind of move things along. So those are results that were put out by AANR, and roughly 25,000 members. We could go back and forth on that and do another 2 hours on that. AANR themselves quoted 25,297 members, and 13.7 voted. Only 3,472 people voted, so less than 3,500 people voted, and those 3,500 are guiding the next 2 years because that's all they voted. And if anybody's upset or ticked off, well, the question is, did you vote? And if not, why not? But that's the way it goes, and the less we say about a couple of aspects of it, the better, although we will down the road. But any final thoughts on all of that?
Well, I think a lot of times when you have this low a turnout in an election, it's the personality that wins as opposed to the actual ability to do the job. So I think that, that's what drives a lot of people to vote, because they, like someone. So I think it's a popularity contest in a lot of ways when voting is that low, because people are not paying attention to what's going on or what needs to go on.
Yeah. All right. So we'll leave that alone for now, but that's the results printed by AANR. Voting ended this past Saturday. They printed the results on Monday, and here we are on Wednesday. So this is reasonably fresh news. Anything else for the good of the order, Lisa Monroe, before we head for the hills?
No, I think that we do need to do more music, because I feel like I've just left a lot of my good favorite music, on the floor, and we haven't talked about. So we should do that again.
Well, here's a song for you. Make sure I have the right title. I think it's September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Mm-hmm. There's a line in there, bawdy yaw.
Yes, I know that line.
You know what bawdy yaw means?
No, I don't.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, okay. Just fit the lyrics, fit the tune, was the filler? Is that what it was?
There was a woman who wrote the song, and apparently she wrote a lot of hit songs for a lot of people. And she wrote this, and they started to rehearse it, and one of the singers said, "Well, you got to be kidding. Bawdy yaw, what does that even mean?" She goes, "It means nothing." He said, "Well, we got to change it." She goes, "No, we're not changing it. It's a link to get from whatever they sung before to whatever they're going to, and it fits the pattern." And she explained it musically in more detail, and they didn't like it, but they stuck with it, and eventually it began to click. Oh, this kind of does have a groove to it.
Yeah,
and
it
of course
does.
It became a gigantic hit song and made a lot of money for them. So she knew what she was doing, But it's funny how you can just stick stuff in that has no meaning at all in terms of the human mind. Body yaw. It
Mhm.
means nothing at all. And she admitted that. No, it means nothing. But it's a way to get from one part to the next, and it fits musically and it fits the groove. And she was right. How about that?
She certainly was, because it's a great song, and I can hear that lyrics in my head right now, and it works. It really does. It always has. So good
Yeah.
deal.
All right. All right, Lisa Monroe, with that, let's head for the hills. We have episode 205 coming up on Saturday. And I'm probably going to have to do most of the talking on the interview because the guest is
Yes.
Tim Chismar, and he's very quiet, reserved, and shy. But I'll do my best to pull information out of him. Does that sound okay?
Oh, that sounds great. I mean, it's really difficult to get, Tim to open up, but, yeah, I have faith in you that you can do it.
I'm going to do my best. He is quiet. He is shy. And yeah, I said reserved. He's reserved. It's just hard to get him out of his shell, but we'll see how it goes. We'll do part 1 this week and part 2 on episode 207. And Lisa Monroe, with that, if you promise to stay naked as a jaybird, we will see you on Saturday. Is that a deal?
That sounds like a good deal to me. I will be here, and everybody do the same.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
The very terrific Lisa Monroe. She did her Rockette thing again. The high leg kick. I'm convinced she was a Rockette at one time. She says no, but I think she was, or at least practiced being a Rockette. The terrific dancer, but also so much more. Does all the merchandise work, does our memes, helps out with the show, and we appreciate Lisa Monroe very much. Well, we thank you for joining us today on episode 204 of Naked Nudists and Naturists. And obviously, 205 coming up on this Saturday. That will be part 1 of my interview with Tim Chismar. He also does it all in the world of naturism. He's a movie maker, he's an author, he's a producer, he's a director, he's a content creator, has a new podcast coming out in the fall. He just does it all, and we're going to have part 1 with Tim on this Saturday, and then part 2 on episode 207. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's show. Hope you enjoyed it clothes-free, as we did. That's the way to do it. You put this show on, have your clothes off before you hit the play button, if possible. If you're somewhere where you can't, we don't want any bad stories coming back to us. Hey, I took my clothes off and I got in trouble. No, don't risk it. If you're in the grocery store with your headphones on listening to us, keep your clothes on. Just a little heads up there. Be safe, be appropriate, until we get to the point where the people with clothes on are the weird ones. And maybe not so much weird, just unusual. Like, whoa, there's a person with clothes on. I wonder what they're thinking today. That's our goal. That's our mission. Eventually we'll get there. We just don't know if it'll be by tomorrow or 10,000 years from now, somewhere in between. But that's our mission, because it is the greatest thing ever. We were born naked. We were meant to remain naked as jaybirds. Society put clothes on us, as you know the whole story, but we have a desire to return to our roots always. It's why people visit their old hometown when they're 30, 40, 50, 100 years old. I want to go see my old high school again. I want to go see the shop where I used to get a milkshake every Friday afternoon when I was a kid. We have a desire to return to our roots, and our roots as human beings, naked as jaybirds. Every baby ever born, clothes-free, and for all the right reasons to enjoy the world. So that's our mission. We know that you're with us. Just keep promoting it. Put out the word. Encourage people to come along. And again, you've been listening to Naked Nudists and Naturists, episode 204. And we will see you this Saturday. Lisa will be back, ready to go. We'll both be back here. Tim Chismar is our guest this Saturday, coming up episode 205. Well, you've been listening to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 204 today. We give you a brand new show every Saturday morning, 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, and on most Wednesdays, 12 noon Eastern Time. Continue to join us. Check us out on our website, nakednudistandnaturist.com, Spotify, Google, Amazon/Audible, Apple Podcasts, and also on Twitter. You can write us anywhere, anytime, any place. And we thank you for being with us today. Plan to join us for every single one of our shows here and have your clothes off when you're listening. We have our clothes off when we're broadcasting, enjoying the naturist life.
We celebrate clothes-free living for all. Remember to enjoy being naked and join us again for Naked, Nudist, and Naturist.
We drop a brand new show every Saturday morning, so come back and join us. Have your clothes off when you do for Naked, Nudist, and Naturist. Have a great clothes-free day.